If your brain won't let you sleep, it's not a discipline problem. It's a dysregulated nervous system and it can be rewired. So here's the part no one tells you about insomnia. If you've struggled with sleep, lying awake, mind racing, heart pounding, if you wake up at 2 or 3 a.m. with dread, if you feel exhausted all day but totally wired at night, if you've tried melatonin, sleep hygiene, apps, supplements, meditation, weighted blankets, and nothing changes, you need to hear this clearly. Insomnia is not a bad habit. It's not poor discipline. It's not just stress. It's a brain stuck in hyperarousal, a survival state, even when you're safe. Today, we'll finally explain why your brain won't turn off, why you wake up in the middle of the night, why you feel tired and wired at the same time, and why anxiety, trauma, hormones, and burnout destroy sleep, and why the sleep medications sometimes stop working, what insomnia actually does to your brain, and how TMS helps restore normal sleep circuitry. Let's start with the truth. Insomnia is not a sleep problem. Insomnia is a nervous system problem that shows up at night. Here's what insomnia really is. This is the brain explanation that you've never been given. Sleep is not passive. Sleep is an active neurologic process that requires a calm limbic system, a regulated autonomic nervous system, a rhythmic prefrontal cortex, balanced neurotransmitters, coherent circadian signals. So, when all these systems fall out of sync, you get trouble falling asleep, you get trouble staying asleep, waking up with dread, restless, non restorative sleep, and the exhausted but wired cycle. So here's what's actually happening. Let's break down all those terms. The amygdala is our brain's threat response system, and it becomes too active. Your brain is always scanning for danger, even at night. Cortisol, our stress hormone, is spiking at the wrong time. Instead of peaking in the morning, cortisol surges at 10 p.m., 2 a.m., or 4 a.m. And then the prefrontal cortex, this is our ability to regulate and calm, can't transition into that rest mode. You stay thinking, planning, and predicting. The default mode network, and then the default mode network in your brain hijacks your thoughts. This is the rumination system, and it becomes overactive in insomnia. The nervous system is stuck in this sympathetic overdrive, so your body believes you need to stay awake to survive. And this is why sleep hygiene doesn't always help everyone. You don't need better habits, you need a calmer brain. Let's talk about three different types of insomnia, and no one ever explains this. The first is sleep onset insomnia. You can't fall asleep because your brain won't transition out of hyperarousal. The second is middle of the night awakening. You wake up at 2 or 3 a.m. with dread, racing thoughts, panic, hot flashes, a pounding heart, or all of the above, an activation event. And then is early morning awakening. You wake up at 4 or 5 a.m., exhausted but unable to fall back asleep. This is prefrontal shutdown and limbic overdrive. These are all different causes, different circuits, and they all have different solutions. So, why do you sometimes feel wired and tired at the same time? This is the number one symptom of a dysregulated sleep circuitry. When your nervous system is completely overloaded, your body runs on adrenaline, norepinephrine, cortisol. You feel drained but unable to shut down. People describe it as my body is buzzing, my mind won't stop, I'm exhausted, but sleep is impossible. And this is not anxiety, this is autonomic dysregulation. Your sleep system can't deactivate. This is autonomic dysregulation, and your sleep system can't deactivate. So, this is what insomnia does to the brain, the chronic effects. In the prefrontal cortex, it causes fog, irritability, poor focus, and emotional reactivity. In the amygdala, our threat detection increases and anxiety increases. In the hippocampus, our memory suffers. With our hormones, estrogen, progesterone, cortisol all start to dysregulate, and our pain sensors get out of control. The pain starts to skyrocket. Depression increases. Weight gain, cravings, blood sugar instability also are disrupted by our metabolic. This all is a brain injury happening in slow motion. So, why do sleep medications sometimes stop working? It's because they treat the symptoms and not the circuitry. They're not getting to that root cause. And sedatives force unconsciousness, but they don't reset those circadian rhythms. They don't calm the amygdala. They don't strengthen the prefrontal cortex. They don't reduce nighttime cortisol. They don't restore deep sleep. And they do not improve emotional regulation. In fact, many of them actually make your sleep architecture worse. You don't need sedation. What you need is regulation. So let's talk about the root causes of insomnia and why you were never told this. So, most insomnia comes from a combination of anxiety and racing thoughts. This is the overactivation of that default mode network. It also can come from trauma or hypervigilance. Your brain doesn't believe it's safe enough to sleep deeply. It can also come from burnout or overwork. So, prefrontal exhaustion prevents mental shutdown and calmness. Hormonal shifts can also cause this: perimenopause, postpartum, thyroid disorders, cortisol dysregulation. And then there's chronic stress that keeps the nervous system in threat mode. Depression also can cause insomnia by shortening REM cycles and disrupting sleep. Insomnia is never random, it's always circuit based. So, what actually heals insomnia? To fix insomnia, you must address the neural circuits responsible for threat perception, rumination, hyperarousal, stress regulation, emotional processing, and circadian balance. And this requires calming the amygdala, re engaging that prefrontal cortex, reducing cortisol spikes, improving autonomic balance, and increasing neuroplasticity, as well as restoring sleep architecture. And this is exactly why TMS helps people sleep even when nothing else has worked. So, how exactly does TMS help that insomniac brain? TMS improves sleep by correcting the two systems that block it. It calms the limbic system, so you get less hyperarousal, fewer 2 a.m. panic attacks, less nighttime dread. And then the second thing it does is it strengthens the prefrontal cortex, which allows you to have better emotional regulation, fewer racing thoughts, and better transition into rest state. It also increases slow wave sleep, so deeper sleep returns. It resets circadian signals, so your brain learns the difference between day mode and night mode again. And it reduces anxiety and depression circuits. These are two of the biggest insomnia drivers. It also stabilizes your autonomic function, so your body stops firing danger signals at night. People often tell me, I've slept for the first time in years. I didn't wake up panicked. I felt rested. My brain is quiet at night. My body isn't buzzing anymore. And that is not a placebo effect. That is real neurologic circuitry repair. Healing insomnia feels like falling asleep without effort, sleeping through the night, waking up without dread, not needing sleep aids, having energy during the day, feeling emotionally stable, feeling cognitively sharp, feeling regulated, not reactive, and really feeling alive again. The biggest moment people notice is they didn't even realize they fell asleep. Their brain just quieted. And that's what normal sleep should feel like. Most important message you need to hear if you have is you're not bad at sleeping, you're not undisciplined, and you're not doing anything wrong. Your nervous system is just completely overwhelmed, and your brain is stuck in this overdrive mode. And that can change. Insomnia is not a permanent condition. Your circuits are not broken. Your sleep is not gone forever. Your brain simply needs help remembering how to rest. So, if any of this sounded like your experience, if you're tired of lying awake with a racing mind, there is a different path. Not more supplements, not more sleep hacks, not more trying harder. A brain based solution, a regulated nervous system, a restorative sleep cycle, a way back to yourself. If you're ready to finally sleep, start a conversation with us. Ask your questions. Tell us what your nights look like. Let's build your sleep reset plan together. Your brain can rest again, and we can help it get there.